Ladies and gentlemen, I want to remind you of something powerful today. You are not here by accident. You are not ordinary. You are not random. You are chosen. You are intentional. And you are enough just as you are. In life, we are often tempted to shrink back, to fit in, to water down our truth so we can be accepted, applauded, or approved by others. But hear me, you were never created to blend in. You were created to stand out. You were formed with purpose on purpose. When you start negotiating who you are just to keep people comfortable, you begin to lose the spark God put inside you. You start living from the outside in instead of the inside out. Maybe someone told you you're too much, too loud, too passionate, too bold. That's because they couldn't handle the magnitude of your calling. Don't dial down your light because it makes someone else squint. You weren't made to be dim. You were made to shine. And sometimes it's not people. It's fear. Fear says, I'll play it safe. Don't stir the waters. But God didn't put you here to tiptoe through life. He put you here to leave a mark. You were designed with distinction. You were marked by heaven. So today, make the decision. I will not negotiate my identity. I will not dilute my faith. I will not shrink to fit a mold I was never meant for. I will show up fully, love boldly, believe fiercely, and walk confidently in the truth of who I am. Because the world doesn't need another copy. It needs the original you. You are created with purpose and intention, not by accident. From the moment you took your first breath, even before that, you were part of a divine design. You weren't formed randomly. You weren't the result of coincidence or circumstance. You were fearfully and wonderfully made. Every detail about you, your personality, your voice, your style, your story was woven together with intentionality. There is nothing about you that is an accident. You are the product of vision, not chance. So often, life tries to convince us that we're just here to exist, to go through the motions, to survive and get by. You are the main character in a divine narrative written with purpose. Your presence on this earth is proof that you are needed, wanted, and chosen for such a time as this. There are no spare parts in God's creation. He didn't look at you and think, well, I guess they'll do. No, he looked at you and said, that's exactly what this world needs. Your life carries specific meaning, and your purpose is unique to you. You don't need to imitate someone else or try to earn your worth. You were born with it. And when you embrace the truth of your intentional design, it changes the way you walk, the way you speak, and the way you live. Your gifts are not random. That creative mind of yours, that compassionate heart, that unshakable drive, those were all placed in you with care. Nothing about you is generic. Nothing is disposable. The abilities and passions you carry were planted in your soul like seeds, meant to bloom at the right time, in the right place, to impact the right people. You don't have to go looking for significance. You are already significant. Even the things you think disqualify you are part of the plan. That struggle you went through, that rejection you faced, the pain you've carried, none of it disqualifies you. In fact, it's often the broken places that become the most beautiful sources of strength. Purpose is not about perfection. It's about knowing that even your flaws and scars have a role in your story. Nothing is wasted, not even the hard parts. Too many people live their whole lives trying to earn what they already have: value, meaning, and identity. But you don't have to hustle for what's already yours. You were approved before anyone had the chance to reject you. You were loved before you ever had the chance to fail. You were chosen before you ever had to prove anything. When you understand that you were created on purpose, with purpose, you stop chasing acceptance and start walking in confidence. That confidence doesn't come from ego. It comes from identity. It's not about thinking you're better than anyone else. It's about knowing that you are exactly who you're supposed to be. It's about understanding that your existence is part of something bigger than you. You are part of a greater plan, one that is unfolding day by day, and your role in that plan cannot be filled by anyone else. There is no substitute for you. So don't let the world tell you that you're just a number. Don't believe the lie that says you're replaceable. Don't fall into the trap of thinking you need to become someone else to matter. You are already equipped, already called, and already loved. You don't have to negotiate your place. You are here for a reason, created with purpose and intention, and no one can take that from you. Never compromise your identity to gain approval or acceptance from others. There is a deep desire inside every human heart to be seen, to be known, and to be loved. And that's a beautiful thing. We were created for connection. But the danger comes when we begin to trade who we are for who people want us to be. We start adjusting, editing, and negotiating parts of ourselves, not because we want to grow, but because we're afraid we won't be accepted if we show up fully as ourselves. You were never meant to live in fear of rejection. You were never meant to bend, twist, and contort yourself to fit into spaces that weren't built for you. If you have to shrink to fit, it's not your space. If you have to silence your voice, it's not your circle. If you have to wear a mask to be loved, that's not real love. The people who are truly meant to walk with you will celebrate your authenticity, not ask you to compromise it. Sometimes we think that if we just tone ourselves down, if we're just a little quieter, a little less passionate, a little more agreeable, then maybe we'll finally be accepted. But the truth is, anything you compromise to gain, you'll eventually lose. If you gain applause by being someone else, it's not applause for you, it's for the image you created. And sooner or later, that image will exhaust you. You were not created to be a copy of someone else. You carry a voice, a calling, a personality, and a light that is distinctly yours. Every time you try to be like someone else, you rob the world of what only you can bring. There's already one of them, and the world doesn't need two. It needs the original, powerful, purpose-filled version of you. People-pleasing may feel safe in the short term, but it's a prison in the long run. Because when your worth depends on someone else's opinion, you'll never feel truly secure. Opinions change, crowds shift, applause fades, but your identity, when it's rooted in truth, stays strong. Your value doesn't rise and fall with someone else's approval. Choosing authenticity will cost you something. Maybe some relationships, maybe some opportunities, maybe some applause. But what you gain is far greater. Peace, freedom, joy, and alignment with your purpose. You'll finally be able to breathe. You'll be able to rest in the truth that who you are is not only enough, it's exactly what was needed all along. And here's the beautiful thing. When you stop trying to be who others want, you attract the ones who are looking for the real you all along. You'll find favor in the right places. The right people will see your worth, not in spite of your uniqueness, but because of it. So let them see the real you. You, unfiltered, unshaken, and unapologetic. You don't need to earn a seat at the table by erasing your identity. You already belong, just as you are. Never trade your truth for temporary acceptance. Approval that costs you your authenticity is too expensive. Stand firm in who you are, because when you walk in truth, you walk in freedom, and there's no better way to live. You are meant to stand out, not blend in or conform. There is something in you that was never designed to blend in. It was never meant to go unnoticed. You carry light. You carry distinction. You carry something that doesn't match the background, and that's on purpose. When God designed you, He didn't create you to be a copy. He created you to be a contrast, not to fit into every space, but to shift the atmosphere of the spaces you enter. The world will always try to pull you into a mold. It will say, tone that down. Fit in. Don't be different. Just go along with what everyone else is doing. But let me remind you, conformity may be comfortable, but it will never be fulfilling. God didn't breathe life into you for you to hide your brilliance. You weren't created to camouflage. You were created to shine. Standing out doesn't always feel easy. In fact, it can be uncomfortable. Sometimes you'll feel isolated. Sometimes people will misunderstand you. Sometimes you'll be the only one with a different opinion, a different vision, a different standard. But that's not something to fear. That's something to embrace. Because that difference is what makes you powerful. You were born to be set apart. All throughout history, it's the ones who refused to conform who changed the world. It's the ones who dared to walk a different path who left a legacy. You don't need to be like everyone else to be effective. You just need to be fully you. There is favor on your uniqueness. There is anointing on your authenticity. Your influence doesn't come from how well you blend in. It comes from how boldly you stand out. You have a voice that was never meant to echo someone else's. You have a presence that's not meant to be muted. Every gift, every idea, every dream you carry is distinct. Don't discount what makes you different. That's usually the very thing that makes you divine. What the world may call a too much is exactly the amount God gave you for the assignment you're called to. It's easy to believe the lie that says if I stand out, I'll be rejected. If I'm different, I'll be alone. But the truth is, you can't fulfill a God-given purpose by wearing a people-approved identity. The calling on your life requires boldness, not conformity. When you embrace who you are, you give others permission to do the same. You become a light in a world that's desperate for authenticity. Don't let fear talk you into fading away. Don't let insecurity convince you to go silent. You have something to offer that this world has never seen before and will never see again if you hide it. You are an original. Walk like it. You are royalty. Carry yourself like it. You are set apart. Live like it. The power is not in your similarity to others. It's in your difference. You were never supposed to look like the crowd. You were supposed to lead the crowd. So rise up. Speak out. Show up as the person you were created to be, even if it feels uncomfortable, even if it goes against the grain, even if others don't understand it. Because when you stand out, heaven stands with you.